The fall run on feeder cows is well underway, and here to talk about that and much more in the livestock markets is Derrell Peel, our livestock marketing specialist. Derrell, let's talk about that fall run. What's really going on in the market right now?
You know, this has been a bit of an unusual fall in terms of seasonal price patterns. Typically, you know, cows, feeder cattle, particularly the calves, are at their seasonal low in the fall of the year, and we've seen markets strengthening or certainly holding their own this fall. So it's been a somewhat unusual year with the strength we're seeing, and it's because of the underlying change in the bigger market fundamentals. We're just moving into this tighter supply situation.
All right, so let's put that in context for Oklahoma producers. Let's talk about cow-calf producers, and particularly the cull cow situation. What are we seeing there right now?
Cull cow prices this fall have held up pretty well. You know, cull cows typically have the strongest seasonal drop in the fall of the year. We should be right at the low for the year, and in fact we're not. Prices have dropped relatively little this fall. So producers that have cull cows to sell, they're selling pretty well right now. On the other hand, if they're thin and you got an opportunity to put a little weight on them, you know, we'll probably see these prices certainly hold. We might not see as much seasonal increase that we normally do into, say, January or February, but on the other hand, I really think we might, even though prices are still pretty high. So if you've got some feed resources that don't have a better use, it's not a bad thing to put a little bit more weight on those cows before you sell them.
All right, well, that's cows. Let's talk about calves next.
For the cow-calf producer, again, calves are at almost record levels. So, you know, if you're selling calves right now, you got to be pretty happy with that. If you're in a situation where you're thinking about retained ownership, it depends on the weight of those calves, how you want to approach that. If these calves are in the 4 weight area and you got a chance to retain ownership, you wouldn't want to put just a little bit of weight on, because there's actually a pretty sharp price break in that first 100 to 125 pounds. If you're going to retain them and put, you know, 200 to 300 pounds on them in a longer term retained ownership program, that would work fine. So you can either sell them now right off the cow, or you can retain them for quite a long period of time and put lots of weight on them. You just don't want to put only a little bit of weight on them. You really won't get much for that at this point in the market.
All right, what about the stalker situation? What's the market looking like for that?
Stockers, you know, again, wheat pasture's coming on. It's running a little late. We're probably going to have a short winter grazing season, and that same price break that I just talked about applies to the stocker producers as well. If you buy a 4 weight steer right now, that first 50 to 100 pounds has relatively little value because of the size of that price break. So you might want to think about buying a heavier calf for a short winter grazing period. There's a lot better value of gain from 550 to 600 pounds as a beginning weight, and then put your, you know, 200 pounds on this winter. On the other hand, if you're going to retain these calves all the way through graze out, you're going to put, you know, 250 to 350 pounds on these calves by next May. Buying the lighter weight calves will probably work out okay. So again, think about that price break in the market and which side of that market you want to buy on.
All right, good information as always. Derrell Peel, livestock marketing specialist here at Oklahoma State University.